Hey folks, it's Brad from Stockbridge, and what a difference a week makes. Give you a little update. We've been eating lettuce like crazy out of here. I've actually turned down the timer on these lights so they're not on as much. It's getting more to be summer, and I'm starting to see a little bit of browning around the edges of those leaves. I don't know whether they're too old. I don't know whether that's heat or whether that's a nutrient thing. This is the, let's see, this is Bibb lettuce here. And a couple of these leaves. I've noticed Bibb lettuce really doesn't like to be crowded, and if it does get crowded and the leaves lay on each other, they'll get this kind of funky, nasty looking stuff on them. So Bibb lettuce, I think, needs to be spaced a little bit more. I ate a bunch of the spinach and reseeded it. It's taken its sweet time coming up. So that's what's going on the aquaponics unit, the little self-watering square foot bed. Everything's germinating and looking good. And this is what the backyard looks like now with all of the self-watering buckets. I've got about 109 of them out here. Let me show you a couple of little quick things that I discovered. I'm painting the buckets. It prevents light pruning of the roots, but it also camouflages it so I get less flack from my neighborhood association. And what I found was when I paint a bucket, just after the paint is set up a little bit, I can take a pencil and it will scratch the paint so that the white bucket shines through, and I can write on the bucket what I've planted. And that's a real easy way to mark your bucket so that you know what's in them, and then you can just do it again and again each year. Peas have got pretty flowers all over them. Even the bush peas do. I came out yesterday and I used my water out of the aquaponics unit, and I mixed in mycorrhiza bacteria, which is, I understand, like it is root extensions, sort of like ladies get hair extensions. The mycorrhiza attaches both to the inside and the outside of the roots and helps the plants carry their nutrients up to the plant. So I added that. My little teeny tiny tomatoes from seed, I think you can see a couple of little plants. I stuck about three seeds per bucket, and my thought was, if they work, great. I can just take my scissors and trim it so that I'm down to one, or I can come out here with a small garden spade or spoon and I can dig out the extra plants and transplant them into another bucket or pot or give them away, that type of thing. But that's what's going on in tomato land. What I came out here today to do was show one feature of my garden that, if you're new, is kind of confusing if you've seen it, and it's how I've been using it. We have a lot of deer and rabbits. My next door neighbor told me I was crazy for gardening because the deer were going to come eat everything. So what I did was I took my garden beds and I just took 2x2s and I made a little frame out of 2x2s, and I attached it down here to my garden bed by 2 hinges. Now, I had wanted to learn how to bend electrical conduit anyway, so I went on YouTube and I downloaded a couple of videos on how to bend electrical conduit, and I went and I bought this stuff. You can use PVC pipe. The electrical conduit allows you to go more straight up and over, where the PVC pipe will just be a smooth arc. But I just took my drill bit and I drilled little holes in the 2x2s and dropped the conduit down into those holes. And then I took another drill bit and I drilled through the frame and the conduit and just ran a sheetrock screw in there to hold it. Then I came back with just chicken wire and I covered the whole thing with chicken wire. So I can come in here, I can open it up if I need to plant or harvest or water, fertilize, anything like that, but I can leave it closed for the animals. In this year, I've got my cabbage and my broccoli underneath these covers, and I'm going to come back out here and cover it with floating row cover. Now in the winter, in the late fall and early spring, I come out here and I cover the whole thing with little thin plastic, and I create a cold frame. So it's a neat little feature for your garden. It can be done for not much money. If you don't want to do the square foot beds, you can just build one. This one I still had the plastic over it, but the conduit comes in 10-foot sticks, so you can just build a little 4x4 frame out of 2x2s that will set right down on the ground, and then bend your 10-foot stick. This is actually, I think it's 36 inches high, so there's plenty of room under there, and you don't even have to hinge it or attach it to a 4x4 foot bed. So that's a garden idea for those of you who want to have a small garden, but you struggle with deer, rabbits, and you don't want to build a great big fence. So this is Brad in Stockbridge with his fish in his buckets and his Nazi Neighborhood Association, and we'll post again in a couple of weeks and let you know what's going on in the backyard. Take care.